Good day, yogis, and welcome back onto the mat with me for today's Yin Yoga sequence, which is all focused on opening the heart chakra, opening up through the chest, relieving all of the stuff that sometimes feels very heavy in our hearts. So for this practice today, you're going to need your mat, and then I'm going to introduce a couple of props to you today, and also put in the link of this video where you can get these props. If you want to invest in getting a bolster or a meditation cushion or whatever you feel that will work to supplement and make your practice a bit easier. So first of all, we're going to talk about a bolster. And I've got this beautiful round bolster, which comes from Monet. They're a beautiful local company that manufacture these bolsters in South Africa, and again, lovely to support local. So if you're looking for a bolster, then I'm going to pop the link down in the description below with their details. So the bolster is used for some of our postures, like when we come into a reclined or supported fish. So you use the bolster to prop up into the lower back and then just allow the body to fold over it, and it's the most beautiful and relaxing feeling ever. So I encourage you to really invest in one of these guys. So that is your bolster, and we're going to need one of these for the practice today. And then the second bit of equipment I want to show you is this beautiful meditation cushion. Now Monet also makes these, and they can color coordinate them, and they have a variety of different materials, beautiful shweshwe fabrics, whatever you need. Now, the meditation cushion is really going to help your practice of meditation. So it allows you to elevate your hips. So often when we come into easy seat, a lot of us have problems with tight hips from spending a lot of the time sitting with the legs forward. So what happens is we tend to have the knees up high and feel rather uncomfortable in the posture. But by propping yourself up onto a meditation cushion, so elevating the hips, you allow the knees to drop right down, and you can come into a beautiful posture for your meditation practice. So it allows you to have an elongated spine, so you'll notice that through my back body. I'm able to sit up and I'm able to feel comfortable in my meditation practice. So both of these props, the meditation cushion and the bolster, will be in the link. There'll be a link for them in the description below. If you'd like to invest in something like this, it really will assist you and aid you in your practice. So let's begin our practice today. So we're coming into a Yin Yoga sequence, and I'd like to start this practice off with a beautiful reading that I came across in one of my classes over the last few days, and it's entitled Keepers. The author for this reading is unknown, and it begins like this. I grew up in the 50s with practical parents, a mother, God love her, who washed aluminium foil after she cooked in it, then reused it. She was the original recycle queen, before they had a name for it. My father was happier getting old shoes fixed than buying new ones. Their marriage was good, their dreams focused. Their best friends lived close by. I can see my parents now, Dad in trousers, t-shirt and a hat, and Mum in a house dress, lawnmower in one hand, dish towel in the other. It was the time for fixing things. A curtain rod, a kitchen radio, screen door, the oven door, the hem in a dress. We kept things. It was a way of life that sometimes made me crazy. All that refixing, eating, renewing. I wanted just for once to be wasteful. Waste meant affluence. Throwing things away meant you knew there would always be more. But then my mother died. And on that clear summer night, in the warmth of the hospital room, I was struck with the pain of learning that sometimes there isn't any more. Sometimes what we care about most gets all used up and goes away, never to return. So while we have it, it's best to love it and care for it and fix it when it's broken and heal it when it's sick. This is true for marriage and old cars and children with bad report cards and dogs with bad hips and aging parents and grandparents. We keep them because they're worth it, because we're worth it. You can search the whole universe and not find a single being more worthy of love than yourself. Since each and every person is so precious to themselves, let the self-respecting harm no other being. So a really beautiful reading to set us off on our practice this morning, and really makes me think about the generation that we live in today and how we really need to heal the sick and fix the broken. And let's begin today with our own self-care and fixing of ourselves. So bringing your hands into prayer pose. Allow yourself to connect here, taking a few breaths. And then begin to rub your palms together, generating some warmth and drawing that warmth into your heart center. Taking a few more deep breaths here as you settle down into your mat. Deeply inhaling and exhaling through your nose, following your inhale and your exhale. Setting intention for your practice this morning or today, whenever you are practicing, to allow yourself to be fully present, to allow yourself to heal. And as you exhale, gently drop your palms down to your knees, taking a few more moments here. Drawing your awareness once more to your breath as you deeply inhale and exhale through the nose. Allow yourself to slowly come back into the space, gently fluttering your eyes open, bringing your palms down onto your thighs and just taking a couple of rubs up and down along the thighs, and then we're going to get ready to come into the first of our Yin Yoga postures today, which is Melting Heart Pose. So let's come over onto the mat. You can shift your meditation cushion away, just place that aside through the practice now. Coming into a tabletop pose, let's start by just taking a couple of cat-cows just to warm up through the spine. So as you inhale, drop the belly gaze forward. And then as you exhale, draw navel to spine and chin to chest. Inhale, draw belly gaze forward. Exhale, navel to spine, chin to chest. Let's take a couple more. Inhale and exhale. Last one. And exhale, coming back into neutral space, sliding your hands all the way to the top of your mat and allowing yourself to drop forehead down towards the ground. Knees are stacked here over the ankles. If this posture doesn't feel very accessible to you and you do have a bolster, a beautiful way to get into this posture as well is to take your bolster and to come into it, drawing the chest over the bolster. So it gives you a little bit of support. So it really is up to you how you come into this posture. Another way is to draw down and relax the head here. So I prefer to come straight down onto the ground, dropping my forehead and stepping the elbows in, hands behind the back, breathing deeply here. Allow yourself now to completely settle into the shape, letting go of all tension, softening through the body from the toes all the way to the tips of the fingers. Deeply inhaling and exhaling here. Softening the chest down into the ground beneath you, allowing yourself to melt down. This is a beautiful sequence that opens your throat, chest, shoulders, and your pectorals, your upper back. It creates space where once maybe you felt a bit stuck. So just allow yourself to keep breathing into the space here. Checking in with your breathing. If your mind begins to wander, just draw your awareness back to the breath. Continue to deeply inhale and exhale through your nose. Moving into the last 30 seconds of our stretch. So allowing yourself a few more deep breaths, completely surrendering down into the ground as you open up through shoulders. And taking your last few breaths in melting heart. Slowly dropping your palms down onto the mat and begin to walk your hands back, coming back into a tabletop pose. Let's take a few moments here. Let's take a couple more cat-cows. So inhale, drop belly to gaze forward. Exhale, navel to spine, chin to chest. Inhale, drop belly, gaze forward. Exhale, navel to spine, chin to chest. Inhale, one more. And exhale, coming back into a neutral space. We're gently going to lower down into the next of our postures, which is called Sphinx Pose. So let's just reset here by bringing one hand on top of the other and resting the forehead for a moment, just gently allowing the belly to rest softly onto the ground. Taking a couple of breaths. And then on your exhale, gently raise yourself up onto the elbows, the arms extended forward, gazing forward. So very important here that we don't dump into the shoulders, that we rather rise out, drawing the chest up, rolling the shoulders down the back body, and just settling here now for Sphinx Pose. So allow yourself to completely soften into the shape. A lot of the postures or the shapes within this yin sequence today target the kidney meridian. They work into the solar plexus, the heart and the throat chakras, and they can work to relieve any stress you may feel from working on a computer for a long time or just being in an office environment where you're spending most of your day hunched over a desk. Continuing to breathe deeply, inhaling and exhaling through your nose, really feeling into the breath softening through your body, allowing your body this time to heal, to rejuvenate, to relax into the postures. Yin Yoga works into the connective tissues, the ligaments and the fascia. So this is an opportunity to stretch deeply into layers in the body or areas in the body that we don't often stretch. In this last minute of Sphinx Pose, if you would like to, we're going to intensify the stretch a little bit. If you're feeling okay in Sphinx, you can shift your hands out to the edges of your mat and raise up a little higher into Seal Pose. So still keeping those shoulders drawn down the back body. Deeply breathing here now. Soften through the buttocks, soften the back feet, soften the calves and the thighs. And then ever so slowly you can come down, sliding both of the elbows out to the edges of your mat, dropping the forehead on top of your hands. Taking a few deep breaths here. And then when you're ready, slowly tucking your toes, bringing your hands underneath your shoulders, and slowly pressing up and allowing yourself a very gentle move all the way back, buttocks to the heels, taking a counter pose through the back body, dropping the forehead down onto the ground. So we've just done a big back bend, and we're counter posing in this beautiful child's pose, allowing the body to soften over the thighs. Last big breath here. And then as you exhale, press palms back into the mat, coming back into our tabletop position, getting ready for twisted dragon. So as you inhale now, stepping the foot to the front of the mat, stepping it out to the outer edge of your mat, both of the hands inside of the foot. Just check in with the back knee here. If you're feeling any tension or strain into the back knee, you can fold your yoga mat over and place your knee on top of the folded mat, just to give it a little bit more support. And then from there, we're going to, and if this is accessible to you, if not, stay here, stay exactly where you are. If you feel as though you're finding it difficult, you can also raise up onto the fingertips, or if you have a yoga block handy, you can grab hold of that. And if you don't have a yoga block, just grab hold of your meditation cushion or whatever is next to you. So you've got some options here. Once you're there and we're coming into the twisted dragon, you grab hold of the back foot and we hold here. We're going to just take a minute in twisted, and then we're going to move back into dragon. So just breathing deeply here. Find your place of stillness. Allow yourself a few deep breaths. And then you can gently lower the knee down and just adjust once more into dragon pose. So just holding here, softening through the spine, feeling into the back body. Just checking in here that the knee and the ankle are in alignment. Slowly roll yourself back, bringing your feet and bringing yourself once more into tabletop pose, allowing yourself a couple of breaths here, and then getting ready to go into the left side. So we're now going to step the left foot forward to the front of the mat, and once more coming into our lunge at first, before we go into twisted dragon. So allow yourself some time here, gazing forward. Deep breaths. And then if you're transitioning into twisted dragon, you can grab hold of the back foot, and we're going to take a minute here. So allow yourself to sink down here. And gently lower the foot down. Just reset back into dragon for another short while here. Working to the 3 principles of Yin Yoga, which are to find your edge, so not going past that. So if the twisted part of this dragon was not accessible, just stay in dragon as it is, breathing here. And you can slowly roll back into your tabletop pose, taking a moment before tucking toes and raising up into a downward facing dog. So finding yourself into a beautiful downward facing dog posture, adjusting your feet, dropping your heels down towards the ground, maybe paddling your heels one at a time, allowing yourself to pull up through the kneecaps, taking a few more deep breaths here. And then gazing towards the fingers and slowly walking the toes all the way up to the fingertips. Allow yourself some moments here, dangling down. The next posture that we are taking is called dangling. It's the only standing posture in Yin Yoga, so you can bend generously through the knees here and allow the hands to just drop down towards the ground. And then allow the whole body to fold forward, crown draws down to ground. And allow yourself to breathe deeply here.
We're here for 3 minutes. If you need to take a break at any time, you can just straighten up through the knees and give yourself a little break, but whatever works for you here. Feeling all of the stress and the strain of the day, drawing out from the very base of your spine, all the way along each one of the vertebrae, and then out through the top of your head. Don't be shy to sigh. Sighing the breath helps you to shift energy through your body. Nodding the head yes and no, so not holding on to any tension through the head. The last few seconds here. Slowly draw your hands up into your waist as you begin to roll out one vertebra at a time, coming all the way up into standing. Beautiful. Come down onto your mat. We're going to come into an easy seat posture, and we're going to take our hands into prayer pose behind the back. So hands swing behind the back and draw into prayer pose, sitting in between the shoulder blades. Now, if this is not accessible to you, and it very well may not be due to the fact that you spend a lot of time with the shoulders hunched forward, you can also just grab hold of each of the elbows. This is a beautiful posture to reset the shoulders, rolling the shoulders back and finding alignment. So I'm going to sit facing this way, and we're going to hold this for 3 minutes. So lengthen up through the spine. Gain some length through the back body, and then just breathe here. Breathe into the shoulders, into the stretch. Allow the body to slowly and gently open. Restoring your posture, letting go of all tension in your shoulders. Just remembering to breathe, using your breath to help you to open into each one of the shapes. Using each one of your breaths to soften that little more through your shoulders. And you can gently take your hands back if you've had them in reverse prayer. Maybe just a couple of rolls through the wrist, just restoring some of the flow of energy
So you may feel like a very intense sensation through the wrists. That's completely normal. We're just resetting whatever we've been doing all day. We're coming into the next posture, which is supported bridge. So you're going to use your bolster for this, or if you don't have a bolster, you can grab hold of 2 pillows, place them on top of one another. So we're sliding the bolster right up into the buttocks here, and then we're gently going to come over and lie over the bolster. So here you can have your feet in butterfly, so soles of the feet touching, and you can allow the knees to just drift open and open up through the shoulders and allow yourself to let go here. Deep breaths. This is a beautiful restorative posture, which is helping to open up the chest, working through the heart and the throat chakra, also into the solar plexus, which is our seat of power. So allow yourself to just breathe deeply here, resetting yourself once more. Softening through the toes, softening deeply into the posture, allowing yourself to settle down here. Take a little walk through the body, noticing where you are holding on to tension, if you're able to soften. Allow yourself to breathe deeply. Slowly sending the feet down to the bottom of your mat. Still allowing the back body to sink over your bolster. Rolling over onto either your right or your left side and gently shifting the bolster aside. So placing it aside. We're coming into the next posture, which is a reverse child's pose. So you're going to draw your legs up and hug them into the chest. We're going to take it wide, so we're drawing the knees out towards the side and just allow the knees to drop down, toes to touch. You can either just have your hands over the knees, dropping the elbows and the upper arms down, softening through the chest. Just allow yourself to take a few deep breaths here. Settle the whole back body onto the mat. Gently tuck your chin in towards your chest. And breathe deeply here.
Just checking in once more with your shape. Just noticing if you've been able to really soften into your back body. And then slowly dropping the feet down onto the mat. Sending your feet down and out to the edges of your mat, your hands out beside you, coming into Shavasana or Corpse Pose for the last few moments here. Just allowing yourself to settle, to relax and to let go. Softening throughout your entire body, searching for any last pockets of tension, softening through the feet, the calves, into the knees, the thighs, into the belly, the buttocks, the chest, the shoulders, all the way down to the fingertips. Your body is totally relaxed. Face is relaxed, jaw is unclenched. Back of the head melting down into the ground. Just letting go and relaxing. When you're ready, you can gently begin to wriggle your toes, bringing some movement back into the feet. Taking the tip of the thumb and gently drawing it across the tips of the fingers, allowing the head to roll over from one side to the other. Drawing your arms up overhead for a last deep stretch. And then slowly rolling up, so press yourself up with your hand in your palm and roll up into seated. Coming back onto your mat. Bringing your palms together to touch once more. Begin to rub your palms, generating some warmth. And then rest them back into your heart center, taking a deep inhale here. And as you exhale, bow your nose down to the very tips of your fingers, taking a moment to acknowledge yourself and those around you. Namaste. Wishing you a truly beautiful day.